what color his skin was. Death related to that.
Nancy, and what do you make of it at this particular moment in time?
I think that it is very murky, and I do not understand, Stephen, the demands on all platforms for the investigation to be shut down. Is it possible Nolan Wells died by accident? Yes, it's possible. Is it possible that there was foul play? Yes, that is possible. And I don't believe the investigation should be shut down until we know the answer to that. I have 2 children, both the age of Nolan Wells. I would be lying on the courthouse steps screaming for justice if the investigation into a death related to them was shut down before I had answers. So I don't understand where all the hate is coming from.
Who specifically is calling for the shutdown of the investigation? Just to educate my audience.
Well, go online. There's any number of people, thousands of people that think that, quote, this was an accidental drowning. Why are you doing this? You're a race baiter. You're fill in the blank. Mm-hmm. This has nothing to do with what color his skin was. This has to do with an unanswered question. During my prosecutorial career, I very often was the only white person in the courtroom. That has nothing to do with Lady Justice. Mm. What Lady Justice wants, what justice demands, is a full and fair investigation. And I'm also not saying that's not going on, because my boss, Lewis Slayton, the longest serving elected district attorney at that time, I think, Stephen, it was 37 years.
What up? Good morning.
Was like a grandfather to me. He was very strict, no one to speak to the press. It could ruin the case.
Hey, no,
I always had the same answer when asked. I believe a Fulton County jury will render a verdict that speaks the truth. Because I did believe that. We are not owed an explanation from law enforcement as to what they are doing. However, there are a lot of questions, specifically, Stephen, regarding the autopsy. The initial autopsy has remained under seal. We don't know what the answer was. The family, understandably, sent Nolan's body hundreds of miles away for a second opinion. When that doctor got the body, the lungs and the throat were missing. Mm-hmm. I understand why the lungs were missing, because this could have been a drowning case. But why the throat? What was there about Nolan's throat that piqued the interest of the original medical examiner? That leads me to speculate. Was there bruising? Was the hyoid bone fractured? Was it broken? Was it dislodged? Is there possibly bruising on the strap muscles? Is it indicative of a blow? We know on the back of the head, that's your occipital bone on the back of your head, about where your hairline would start, that there is deep red discoloration under the subcutaneous tissue. What? Is it from a blow? Is it from diffusion of the blood post-mortem? I don't know. But none of it is good. So I need answers before any investigation is going to be shut down.
What do you make of those who have said, I remember Officer Tatum, a conservative podcaster, very popular, over 3 million subscribers. He's been on the warpath going down, talking to some of the people that were there with Nolan Wells, white individuals. He's saying that evidence is showing that they departed. When they departed, Nolan Wells was alive, and you know what? They may have had absolutely positively nothing to do with this. The evidence shows that. Is that your finding, that the evidence shows that the people being, with allegations being thrown in their direction, the suspicions that have been raised by these people that were in attendance with Nolan Wells, that they should be, they have been proven or found to not have been around even when he was still alive? Is your findings consistent with anything along that verbiage with what people are saying about these kids that were with him?
No, I don't know the answer to that. They say Nolan chose to stay behind because he met a girl he wanted to talk to named Katie. That girl has spoken through her sister, we are told. And she says Nolan told her, I'm going back with my friends. So who am I supposed to believe? I don't know for a fact that what the boys are saying is true. I don't know for a fact that what the boys are saying is false. I do know they called SETOW, S-E-A, second word T-O-W, and said that their vessel was sinking. But yet they continued boating around in it for hours after. Is there an innocent explanation? Maybe. Maybe they thought it was sinking. They found the problem and they fixed it. Now, Specters have been raised about audio suggesting Nolan had been on the boat on their return. I don't know if that was doctored. I don't know if it's real. I do know this. He went to Horn Island with them. They came back alive. He's dead. I'm going to investigate. You're darn right I'm going to investigate. And my wish is that his friends are innocent and that this was an accident. But it will be a cold day in HELL that I endorse closing down an investigation because somebody said I had nothing to do with that. What? Am I supposed to go, oh, okay, case closed, forget about it, and go tell the mom, we're shutting down the investigation because so-and-so said he had nothing to do with it.
Have you received any indication from law enforcement that that is their intent, that their desire is to close down this investigation? Have you received any indication like that at all?
No, and that emboldens me. That emboldens me because so far they haven't finalized this thing. As a matter of fact, the other day, a female journalist got a hold of law enforcement, the sheriff. He wouldn't answer any questions, which he should not have. And he stated that all questions were to be directed to the district attorney's office. I expect what they'll do is this, Stephen. I expect that they will call in a grand jury. A grand jury has two purposes. It can be a charging grand jury. I presented hundreds of cases to grand juries to get an indictment. It can also be an investigative arm. It can subpoena documents. It can call for witnesses. It can question them. It's an investigative, a fact-finding grand jury. They may do that, or they may be able to do it on their own without calling in a grand jury. But I believe that law enforcement will do the right thing.
The videos, photos, or documents you're about to see are being used under the Fair Use Act for education, entertainment, commentary, research, or satirical purposes only. The views and thoughts expressed within them do not necessarily represent the views and thoughts of the Rumonati Network, its annoying host, or its aggravating but ever so amazing chat. Let's go. All right, now, welcome back to the Rumonati Network, the place where the conversations are real, the opinions are loud, and the chat is the most aggravating chat on the internet. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and get comfortable, because once you step into the Rumonati, you are officially part of the conversation. Now, listen, on this channel, we talk about everything the internet is buzzing about, from hip-hop news, celebrity drama, viral moments, cultural debates, and the stories that people are afraid to ask questions about. And the best part of this whole show is the chat, because the Rumonati chat is not quiet, it is not polite, and it is definitely not boring. This is the most aggravating chat on the internet, and y'all never hold your opinions back. So if you're here right now, go ahead, wake the chat up, drop where you're watching from, hit that like button, and let me see those opinions in the comments, because around here we don't just watch the news, we break it down, we question it, and sometimes we aggravate the entire internet while doing it. So get ready, let's get into it, let's go.
24 hours, Nolan Wells's family hits social media giants, subpoenaing Nolan's accounts. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
Despite
the doctor says this is all still pending investigation.
And look at anything. I didn't even touch Nolan's phone. None of us touched Nolan's phone until somebody took it off.
Nolan, don't die. Sure, he's dead. Is he dead? Nolan, OMG. Wake the F up. It goes on. I thought he was on the check his chest. That, if it's to be believed, suggests that Nolan was on that boat. Tatum says the witnesses are clear. He was not on the boat. Tonight, we learned in the last 24 hours, the Nolan Wells family hits social media giants with subpoenas for all information related to Nolan's phone. First, straight out to Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Then we will be joined by Brandon Tatum. Dave Mack, what's happening?
Right now, Nancy, the family of Nolan Wells has announced that they are going after, they have subpoenaed documents for Nolan Wells' phone. They've gone to the media giants like, TikTok, Instagram, the meta companies, everybody that Nolan Wells used to push out videos of what he was doing and pictures. And they believe that some material was deleted from Nolan's phone. And this is what they're trying to prove with these subpoenas, to get all of the information, as well as, by the way, the location tracking app, Life360. So you got Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok, Meta platforms, and Life360. all of this. The court documents already filed, Nancy.
Nolan Wells's family slapped subpoenas on multiple social media giants seeking his account information and data. This into the investigation of the teen college football player's mysterious death. They were issued in the last 24 hours, including Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok, Meta platforms, Life 360, and these are according to court documents demanding the companies turn over all materials info related to Nolan's accounts. This includes current and prior usernames, passwords, email addresses, phone numbers, even displayed names. They want IP addresses associated with every account, all communications, chats, posts, stories, and info. His cell phone has become a critical issue in the probe into Nolan's death. What happened to Nolan? Now, his mother, Christine, says when her son's phone was brought to the family, they had concerns because there were no pictures or videos on either of his Snapchat accounts. Triggering their fear, items may have been deleted. That's what's happening. There's been a lot of controversy. Were photos, were texts deleted? Were snaps deleted? We've been trying to figure it out, but we're seeing through a mirror darkly. We don't know. But according to experts, a trail will be left if anything has been deleted, even if you delete it from the deleted file. Now, joining us, special guest, Brandon Tatum. You know him well. He's a former police officer with Tucson PD. That's what impresses me. What impresses a lot of other people is he is the star of The Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. Question to you. Let
me show some love to the chat real quick, guys. I see you guys in the chat. I'm going to show some love real quick. Hit the likes. Regardless, this isn't the best situation, right? This isn't an ideal situation to be making acquaintance under or to even be watching or paying attention to, but it is what it is. And we are here on YouTube, and YouTube is about engagement, information, and amongst other things. So, guys, please continue to hit the like if you are here. I just want to show some love to the chat real quick, and we'll get right back to the content, and I will give my thoughts. There's a lot going on. Ben Crump is supposed to be making an announcement today, sometime around noon Eastern time. He's supposed to be making an announcement with some type of major update for the case or some major development for this case. We see how everybody is so focused on the role Officer Tatum is playing in this case as opposed to the information. And what I'm saying is this. I don't care for or against anybody. I'm just saying this. I don't really care for the guy. But in this particular case, I don't know much about him outside of this. But what I will say is this. I've seen more people discussing Officer Tatum than discussing getting justice for Nolan Wells. So, let's make sure the attention stays where it should, which is the investigation and the evidence and what's going on with the mysterious death of this young man, not somebody who decides to take on the role of whatever messenger he's trying to be for whatever he works for, whatever his agenda is. That shouldn't really be the focus. I see a lot of focus on him as opposed to what's going on, even though he has centered himself and made himself, which may be considered good journalism, right? Or just a good chess move as far as moving up. What he did do was center himself and make himself a pivotal part of this case, make himself synonymous with this case as to where when it's mentioned, you almost have to mention his name as well. So that may be a smart move or what some may consider a clout chasing move or a sellout move, however you want to look at it. That's your choice. But it's more about Tatum now than the actual evidence, and that's the part that kind of gets me off, where as opposed to people supposedly presenting information, they're spending more time having a bash campaign or getting in their feelings and their emotions about one person, when the one person everybody should be concerned about is the deceased here. And we should be concerned about justice for the deceased. If the messengers, if their messages, if it's not conducive to the investigation to figure out what's going on with this young man's mysterious death. Shout out to the chat. I see Anonymous. I see Exo Mills. I see David Tyree. I see Joseph Grover, Mike from the Ville, Good Bud, Nelijah Fabian. Is that Mary Anner, Lawan AG, Nurse Lady T, John J. Ocampo, Mindy Dunlap, Cindy Morgan, Pam Miller, Shada Sage, Jeffrey Epps, East Coast Temple, Stephen Greenwood, Fan Friend, Andrea Lynch, Christian Williams, Dog Football, and Lanier 1738. I appreciate everybody. I'm gonna get back to the content. Let the content roll. We'll come back and show some love to the top 10. We'll come back and show some love to the entirety of the chat. But for now, let's roll it.
You interviewed, as we played at the get-go, several.
We don't know the new update until Benjamin Crump comes out at, I think it's 12 Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we're waiting on.
Of Nolan's friends. Did they show you photos, videos, snaps of that day on Horn Island?
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on. I spoke to 4 of the boys that are originally accused of being involved in Nolan Wells' death. And they did show me a lot of evidence. I want people to be very clear with this. I spent my career putting people in jail. My career is based on getting justice for people who have been done wrong. I've never been a defense attorney. So me going out and doing this was to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And in talking to these young men, the burden of proof is they're going to have to prove to me. I'm not going to listen to what they say out of their mouth. They're going to have to show me. And in many cases, they showed me videos of Nolan on the island. They showed me videos of the boat when they were getting towed out, which is consistent with, kind of similar to what the phone call was. I mean, they showed me pictures of them with Nolan. They showed me phone records of them calling Nolan's mom and all of the above. So they seemed very consistent. They seemed very genuine. And they also proved to me some of the things that they had told me in the interview that I had with them that I have uploaded on my YouTube channel.
Officer Tatum, are you telling me that they had reception on Horn Island? Because many people are saying, well, the reason that there's nothing on Nolan's phone of that day, like there's no pictures, there's no snaps, there's no text, there's no anything, not because it was deleted, but because he didn't have reception. But you're telling me the other boys did have snaps, photos, videos, and reception?
Yeah, no, Nancy, let me clarify this for you. It wasn't that they uploaded this online. They showed me videos and things that they took from the boat during the outing on 4th of July. I was personally out at Horn Island. I rode out there on a boat, and I didn't have great reception there. And I left my phone in the boat when I got into the water, and we were actually going out to do interviews.
Objection. You've been in court long enough to know you're going to get objections. You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great, and it wasn't great enough for people, in my opinion, to upload. You can make a phone call potentially, but you wasn't going to upload data to a social media account. Now, could people take the steps to do it if they're dedicated enough? Yes, but it doesn't appear that would have been a frequent thing, given the fact that you probably had 1 or 2 bars out there. And I heard evidence of that. Not only did I see evidence of it when I went out there myself personally with my cell phone, when I listened to the CETO call, you could tell that the call dropped out several times. It seemed like they were having trouble at times hearing each other. So it is consistent. And anybody that travel out there that have gone to the 4th of July celebration, they know that the reception is not very great. So the videos that they showed me in call logs were things that were not associated to social media, that they never posted on social media. It was, pictures and videos that they took on their phone.
Okay. Let me refine my question. I take it from your last answer that the answer is yes, you had reception on Horn Island.
Yes, I did have reception on Horn Island.
We just played that SEATOW call. It's 2 words, SEATOW, and it's kind of insurance that people have that are boat goers. And if you have a problem, SEATOW will come and tow you back to the mainland. They said they had a problem. They said they were taking on water. One of your takes is that all the chatter that we're hearing, wake up, Nolan, are you dead, Nolan, wake the F up, Nolan, could be referring to the battery, the bilge on the boat, that it's all unclear. Regarding the boat being disabled, apparently it was not. Listen.
So first, at 9:56 a.m., the boat leaves the original dock. It arrives at Horn Island at 11:14. So at around 4 o'clock, there is a call to the Coast Guard about the boat. NBC News got a hold of it.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. So does that mean Nolan is on there? Who was on that boat? At 4:31, the boat leaves Horn Island and it is towed approximately 3 miles, and then the tow ends. So after 3 miles, they go back to the original dock, okay? They arrive at 5:44 p.m. So it looks like this is where Horn Island is, and this is where the original dock is that I am referring to. I looked it up, and El Camino Real Road is in Gulf Hills, Mississippi, which is right above Ocean Springs dock. And they go to the boat launch, and it is put onto the trailer and moved by the vehicle. Did they drop people off at the original dock, travel to Fort Bayou, pick somebody up, and go back to that original dock? And then from there, why was there an hour and 13-minute time gap? This boat was sinking hours before, and then they're just having it docked for an hour and 13 minutes. You would think they'd want to get that boat out of the water ASAP.
That from the real TikTok detective. The boat wasn't sinking. They told SEATOW it was sinking. What's the truth? Was it sinking and they repaired it? Did they have a leak and they repaired it and kept on SOP? Brandon Tatum joining us, former cop, now star of The Officer Tatum. Did the young man explain those travels we just identified?
Yeah, 100% they did that. I wish that people on the internet would have had an opportunity, and they can go look at the interview that I did with Warren, but they had an opportunity to actually talk to these young men to get this in perspective, because some people have no idea how boats function and how they work. They explained to me, they took me on a boat and showed me exactly where they went, where they docked, where did they, stop at, how did they get the bilge pump and the water out of the boat and all of the above. So they were sinking. They were taking on water. The water came up high enough that the batteries weren't working. They had to get a tow to kind of tow them out. Where you can see the young lady saying about 3 miles out. It's a complicated boat's jargon, but they ended up getting the boat out. They ended up getting it to the point where they could run the water out of the boat through a hole in the boat that they ended up plugging. They explain all this. Anybody that does boating know exactly what they're talking about if you hear them explain it on the interview. So they have an explanation for all of these things. And not only that, Nancy, they showed me video of them on the boat, and Nolan was not on the boat. Nolan was not on the boat log. And there are people who saw Nolan on the island closer to around 6 p.m., which is far after they left, far after this phone call was made. I saw text messages from the young lady that Nolan was with, the young lady named Katie. I saw her text messages. In her text messages, she say that she heard the boys yelling for Nolan to get on the boat. He did not. She said in her text message that she did not see Nolan get on the boat he came on, which was Wyatt's boat, which is the boat that was sinking and they ended up leaving on. So it wasn't just a statement that they made on a podcast. They were actually showing me evidence to the contrary of what the mainstream YouTubers and some media outlets are putting out to people at large. And so I wish that people would go watch the interview, or at least take some time to listen to these boys' statement. And I'll say this, Nancy, too. I wish that the family would have taken the time, or at least Benjamin Crump would have taken the time to reach out to the lawyers or reach out to these young boys to get their statements. So they're not wasting their time sending everybody on a rabbit trail when they could have just talked to these boys. And they could have, but they refused, because I saw a message from Warren where he called Nolan's mom twice. I've seen messages from Warren's stepmother, Ashley, where she sent Nolan's mom a text saying, please reach out to me whenever you're ready. I would like to talk. Other parents I saw messages from who reached out to Nolan's mom saying, we need to talk. Can we talk? I'm available if you need to talk to us. I do not understand at this point why Benjamin Crump would go out and put misinformation out online when he had the availability to talk to these kids and clear these things up like I did before he presented this to the public. We also reached out to Benjamin Crump 4 times. And on the 5th time, they come back and tell us that the family is not doing interviews. We didn't ask to talk to the family. We asked to talk to the attorney, Benjamin Crump. Why? So we can come together as a community and solve what happened to Nolan Wells, not create and stoke division, which is what I've seen from
Tatum,
Benjamin
That
Crump.
is exactly what we're trying to do. And I hear everything you're saying. And, I think like a prosecutor. My main goal is to find the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. And one thing I cannot get away from is the medical examiner. I'm trying to get to tonight's news, which I'm going to get to. But, you were seeing video from WLOX. Speaking of sinking, is at an alleged issue with the boat bilge. Well, Randy and Bunny on TikTok have their interpretation of that. Watch this.
Detail Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. We're going down now.
That from Randy and Bunny on TikTok. Joe Scott Morgan, very quickly before I can get into why the family believes they need subpoenas to social media giants to get the truth about what happened to Nolan's phone. Anybody can say anything after the fact. Those boys may be innocent. They can look like choir boys, angels now, but I still don't know what happened on that boat, and I still see conflicts. Can they be reconciled? I hope so. But until they are, we're on it.
Now this is the video from the boat that towed them. Images shared of the Triton boat being towed by another boat after viral Sea-Tow dispatch call. Nolan Wells is confirmed not to be on board. And this also was posted by Officer Tatum as well, as you can see with the giant watermark across the top of it, right? This came out after the audio in question, which we all are well aware of by this point, right? Let's see what let's just hear what Lewis had to say about it. Let's go. You guys continue to run the likes up. I know we are here under unfortunate circumstances, but we are on YouTube. So yes, the main focus here is to get out the information. We're not in a position to do anything other than push for justice and fair information. A lot of media is one-sided. Well, the main media in this case is one-sided. Officer Tatum, he has taken a stance. He has said that first he was saying that this was the death was. He was saying Nolan had not been murdered. Nolan's life wasn't taken. Now he's backtracking and saying that the guys he interviewed doesn't have anything to do with it, but the death is mysterious and it appears to be something. But long story short, we're going to continue to watch it. You guys just continue to ride out. I appreciate y'all. Let's go. I'll show love to the chat in a minute. We're going to keep the content rolling. But also, while we got a quick break, let me show love to the super duper supporters. And right now, I just want to ask y'all a question.
Did y'all hear that?
Thank you, man. Super duper salute to you. Let's go.
Give it up for the lady!
We got Mills with the $4.99 super chat, super step. And she says, thank you for watching us. Please be sure to like the content. Let's go, guys. Amazing Lucas. He says they're calling this the Nolan Wells boat video proof. I said there was no the in there, but let's go, guys.
Oh my goodness. So we have another day, and yet we still don't know what happened to Nolan Wells. And here's the thing. There are people who are desperately going out of their way to try and make you believe that nothing happened, nothing of foul, ever took place, and that he just drowned. And listen, I have no problem accepting that conclusion. If this kid had drowned, so be it. But the problem is, how? How did he drown? Because according to your own accounts, there was thousands of people there, right? So you're telling me, of all these thousands of people, no one saw this person grasping for air or asking help? You're telling me that Nolan, upon him drowning, water entering his lungs, he wasn't trying to scream help or anything? He was just like, oh, well, I guess this is it for me.
Shout out to Big Rob from the group home.
Did y'all hear that?
Super duper salute. Big Rob from the group home with the $1.99 super chat. Super step says Kid Chaos. I said, hey, yo, this dude is convinced that I am the battle rapper Kid Chaos. If I was, I would be letting y'all know when my next matchup was. But let's continue.
Is that what you're telling me? So it's not even making any.
And much appreciation. Thank you guys for the continued support. Thank y'all. That's how the tent rent stays paid. The generator stays charged up so the lights stay on and the content keeps rolling.
Makes sense. Furthermore, they're saying, well, the reason why he left his phone on the boat was that he was trying to get to this girl.
A teenager who got too drunk, probably was also on drugs.
What?
Stayed behind because he wanted to get some ass. Clearly was not in his right state of mind. And he went out swimming, right? Which is what kids and teenagers do, right? On an island, on a trip. Again, probably drunk, under the influence. Got caught up in a strong current and ended up drowning.
I miss you like a whole.
All right, now, welcome back to the RUMORNATI Network, the place where the conversations are real, the opinions are loud.
Here's the thing. The girl doesn't even say that. The girl, herself has said, no, this is more of a high and by type of situation. Even so, why would you leave, why would you leave Nolan with his phone on the boat? If you leave your phone on the boat, I understand. If you're in the water, you leave your phone on the boat, gotcha, right? You don't want your phone to get wet. And just to interrupt for a second, I want to let everyone know of Black Boat
and it is definitely not boring.
Just give me my phone and y'all go. Because there's no way of contact, right? No person, especially who loves Snapchat and documenting everything, is going to leave their phone on the boat. Like, what are we talking about? What they're saying isn't even making any sense, which naturally leads someone who has an IQ above room temperature to suspect foul play. Because no matter what happened, we should have known by now, right? We should have known by now. There should have been somebody who said, hey, this is what's going on. Sheriff's Department hasn't said anything. Autopsy hasn't said anything. We got nothing. All we have is one body. And what kills me is that the Sambo soldiers, you're now seeing why they get paid. You're now seeing why, white America loves their low IQ Black people. Because it's simple to give them a narrative and they'll just repeat it like a bunch of seals. They'll never think about it, but they have a narrative, and that's why I call them Sambo soldiers, because they are very militaristic with their defense of BS.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need to address something real quick before I get to this news that was just presented to me, which could allude to potential foul play against Nolan Wells. And let me just say this right off the bat. There's alcohol involved. What is being told to me that 100% there's cocaine involved. There's multiple people involved. People that may have seen Nolan last, but is not being truthful and coming forward as to what they saw, who was with him last. And we have various people that have come to us with the information, and one was sent in a DM honing in on one particular person that may have been in an altercation with Nolan. Now, this appears to be post the phone call and the boys that I talked to who had already left. And I've been telling people that it appears that the young men that I interviewed had nothing to do with this. And the sentiment still continues. I have names. I know who these people are. My goal with this is to present it to law enforcement before I say anybody's name. But I'm going to let you guys know what I have heard so you can have a perspective, because when the autopsy comes out, or at least the toxicology results comes out, it's going to prove whether or not people are saying things to me that are not true, or the sources that I believe are verified are accurate. Before we get to that, I need to follow up and dispel this mythical phone call, because I think people are still pushing this. And I've been telling you guys from the very beginning that I think that they're pushing people in the wrong direction. When you get information that leads you to believe that this group of people had nothing to do with it, you need to move on and look at other leads. And I feel like in this case, people are so hell-bent on making it about race and making it specifically about these white boys like low-hanging fruit because they reported he was missing. They seen him on the day of the thing. Y'all just jumping into conclusions, making it about them. And with the information that I got today, and I've really been holding some of it for the last several days, I just needed to verify a few things, that people should have been going in another direction instead of wasting time with these boys that I had already been vindicated. Let's go to the tow call, and this is on Nancy Grace's show. And hopefully I get an opportunity to talk to Nancy Grace about this, because I just feel like you have to be very mindful in doing due diligence before you put these things out on the internet, given the fact of the confusion that it could cause. Just real quick, this is why I don't believe that. I think people are hearing what they want to hear and not what is said. Either this is doctored, or people are hearing things that they want to hear and not what's said. Because there is verifiable proof from people that spoke to me and also law enforcement that people had seen Nolan after this call had occurred and after the boys had left already. So that creates an impossibility that someone can be talking about Nolan being dead if he's seen alive after this. And I'm being told in some of the things that I've seen is that people have seen him alive right before 6 p.m., which is over an hour after this happened. All right, let's get to the clip, and we're going to further dispel this with TMZ's reporting as well. Roll it.
People are already saying that the TMZ clip was doctored. We're going to get into that as well. This is just, listen, all we're doing is putting it out here for you to make your determination. We're just putting it out here for you to make your determination. Feel how you feel about it. One thing about it, we can, no matter what side of the coin you fall on, feel free to present your argument. But just do it respectfully, bro. One thing about this world that we live in, we don't have to love each other. We don't have to like each other. But we do have to be able to coexist. If you're not willing to throw your life away and do something to somebody else, you know, and possibly face jail, death, hell, whatever. If you're not willing to do any of that, then relax. Find some sort of adult, some sort of maturity, some sort of civility in your heart, some sort of human decency and dignity and self-respect that would make you present yourself in a different manner. You wouldn't be so disrespectful to other people based off of your feelings and your emotions if you had some dignity and some pride and some self-respect. You wouldn't be a horrible hater and go out here and be an uncivilized person and first present yourself with self-respect. It will be dignity first. You present with at least some human decency for your side to even be heard. As soon as you come with hate, you get skyrocketed. We don't want to hear that shit. You can say whatever. You can say almost anything to anybody. It's just how you say it. So be mindful of that. Green light on for the mods, and we will get y'all up out of here.
Check your phone right quick. I want to get your take on it.
How can I help you?
Hey.
Hello?
Then road ad existed.
We're going down
that I did not know that existed. And if this is authentic radio transmission between the dispatcher and the caller, then certainly this turns it on its head. They're observing him injured, asking if he's dead. Whoever on that call, with the technology we have now and with interviews amongst the folks who were there, or the phone that the emergency call came from, the dispatcher has that number. Someone can get it. Then you'll go to the person who made the call and say, what did you see? This is real easy if that is the case. So we'll see what they do with this evidence. The fact that there's some audio from the dispatcher where the person calling asks, or in the background, one or the other, asks, oh my God, is he dead? So that's a whole new level of evidence that I'm interested in seeing where they go with that. And perhaps that's what the prosecutor may have all of this information and say, we're not sharing it because we don't want to bias. We don't want to create bias, et cetera, in the case because in the media, and she may have that. She may have that and take it right to the grand jury. That's what I'm hoping, if they don't disclose it to the widespread media this week.
Yeah, I don't know how you can justify that audio.
Can't. Not with someone in the background saying, is he dead?
It's coming up.
I'm going to get to Nancy Grace here in a second. But I want you guys to go back, and I want you to take another listen. Now, I want you to frame this within the context that clearly Nolan is still alive during this period. So let's remove Nolan from this context. Let's play it within the context of them mentioning things on the boat being either dead or whatever the case may be. Put this in the context of they're on a boat, they're about to sink, the bilge port or whatever it's called is not working, dead, damaged, they're concerned. Put that in your mind as you listen to this and tell me if you hear something different than Nolan, is he dead, and all of that stuff. Roll it.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped.
Cool. Real quick, the TMZ and people look like fools. So now go to the TMZ article real quick, the TMZ presentation. TMZ played this, all of the above. Y'all were DMing me to death about this on TMZ. Let me just read this real quick from what TMZ said. Evidence appears to show Nolan Wells was still on Horn Island when his friend's boats left. TMZ has learned. Sources with direct knowledge of the investigation claim authorities have evidence of Nolan being on the Mississippi Barrier Island, let's see, after the boat departed on the 4th of July, which will be a huge development. We're told that at least 2 witnesses who were interviewed by law enforcement say that they saw Nolan on the island after the boat headed back to the mainland. That's significant for many reasons. Now, what do you guys got to say about this? TMZ, who put it out, reiterated that there's people that are saying they saw Nolan afterwards. It continues. TMZ enhanced the audio of Nolan's friend's frantic call for help when their boat was sinking, and people believe you can hear someone saying, is he dead? But our sources tell us people on the boat have heard the enhanced audio and are telling people around them the audio is only panic from a boat sinking. If you put that in context, you can see exactly what's going on. Now, let's move on, because I was given this video. And here's a video of the actual boat as they're getting towed out. Do you see Nolan on this boat whatsoever? Now, I panic from a boat sinking.
I want to go to Robert Freed, digital forensics expert who spent more than 2 decades analyzing electronic evidence. He's the executive vice president of forensics and chief investigative officer at Page One. He's trained law enforcement agencies across the country in digital forensics and computer crime investigations. Thanks for taking the time. I want to take this step by step. So first of all, you analyzed both versions. What were you able or not able to determine?
Well, you can obviously look at just the totality of both versions and see that there's a time difference right away. One's 8.5 minutes, the other one's 8 minutes and 50 seconds. And what we actually did was we extracted or preserved.
That's because it was said, and then you also heard that TMZ didn't release the full footage in the beginning. I mean, the full audio in the beginning. There was a matter of seconds that played prior to the dispatch lady even being responded to. She listened for a matter of seconds before she said anything. That wasn't on the first audio.
The videos from the specific websites, the TMZ as well as the WAFB website, and then what we were able to do there is take a digital fingerprint MD5 hash value of those two videos. They were obviously different, which means that they have different content. And then we went in and we looked at the transcript that was able to be gleaned from both versions. And
so now this goes to the main question. In those transcripts, from your analysis, does anyone say, is he dead? Check his chest. Nolan, wake up. Anything like that?
No. It's very distorted. Even if you hear it from the original to even the audio enhancement, it's still very difficult for some of the software that we use to even pick up those types of words. And there was nothing like that close to it in the transcriptions that we saw.
Is there a danger in someone telling you what to listen for? Do you go in with the preconceived, I don't know if the word is bias, but you're going in to look for those words and maybe you're hearing things that your mind is telling you that's what it is when it's really not?
Absolutely. When I first heard about some of the words that were apparently heard, my mind was automatically going to that as well. Am I going to hear those? Things like that. So my perception is, okay, let me hear what everybody's talking about and let's go down to, the specifics of it from a forensic analysis perspective. Can I actually transcribe those specific words as well from what's being provided to me?
So what do you think law enforcement's doing with this audio? If you were part of the investigation, what would you do with this audio now?
I would want to go and make sure that I have the data from the original source. What generated this audio recording? Let me go to the source. Because if I'm looking at different variations, you can even see, Jesse, that there's redactions in those audio recordings. There's account numbers that were shared. There were phone numbers. All that stuff is different than the original. I want to see the original, and I want to look at the metadata of the original.
So in other words, just real quick, if somebody said their phone number, there could be something in the background that could be interesting. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Robert Fried, thanks so much.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup, sound design, and post-production, I decided to work on that CTO call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter.
This was the lady wants to see this audio in question.
Okay, so before I play this, I want to quickly explain what I did, what you're looking at on the screen, and why I chose to approach this audio the way that I did. As a professional audio engineer with experience in dialogue editing, dialogue cleanup, sound design, and post-production, I decided to work on that CTO call using traditional audio processing techniques rather than relying on any AI voice separation or AI enhancement. My goal was pretty much to preserve as much of the original recording as possible while making the quieter.
Sip of porn and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
two females.
And I,
one here.
I'm tired of us black people being hunted. And I am an audio engineer. I've been editing audio since 2011. That's 15 years of experience. So what I did was I took Jeanette Audio. Thank you so much, Jeanette, for isolating the voices for me. But I uploaded it into my Pro Tools, and then I sliced the audio, and I turned up the parts that sounded kind of low.
Yes, we were at Horn Island. Yes.
Who is the female that's afraid to go home, and why?
Yes, we were at Horn Island. Yes. It's 17 foot of water. We were in 31 foot of water.
Takes a trained ear to hear this audio, because when I went back and listened to my enhanced version, I could hear it, but I wasn't clear on what they were saying. She was able to actually clear it up.
I don't have the tag on here. It got ripped off.
There's a lot more that happened on that boat that they're not wanting to tell. We're getting down to the bottom of it.
With their defense of their white ignorant base, because their white ignorant base is the one that pays them. Damn. We have yet again, Brandon Talmud, Brandon Tantrum, however you want to call this misshapenly individual. He puts out this picture of the kids on the boat, this video on the boat. And I'm like, okay, right. And
like I just saw in the chat, I'm gonna come show some love to the chat in a second, but I just saw somebody said, who said it? It said, why is the boat video only 6 seconds? That doesn't prove anything. Where I just saw that. Boom. I think is that Zion or Zion Trill? Why is the boat clip only 6 seconds? Furthermore, 2 witnesses stating they saw Nolan after the boat left is not verifiable proof unless they have pictures or videos actually showing him on the island. I agree.
But people are like, oh, it's a bombshell. Oh my God, look, this proves it. Whoa, look at this. And I'm like, the problem with dealing with racists is that they're low IQ. The problem with dealing with the ignorant is that they're low IQ. The problem dealing with the Sambo soldiers is that they're low IQ. It doesn't take much to sway them. So all of them are shouting about this picture showing that, hey, Nolan wasn't on the boat. Look, Nolan wasn't on the boat. It proves Nolan wasn't on the boat. And I'm like, yeah, this is a genuine, my understanding from their reaction, what they thought we believed we were going to see. I guess they believed that we were going to see a weekend at Bernie's, where the white kids were holding up Nolan and saying, look, Nolan's fine. Wave to the camera, Nolan. Wave to the camera. See, everything's okay.
Why don't you say hello to the guys over there? Hiya, fellas.
Fam, if we're suspecting foul play, right, and in the audio, where you have people are interpreting it as, hey, Nolan, no, right? Is he dead, right? They're trying to say, is it dead? But sure, by all means. But the problem is, no one knows. And the evidence seemed to be lacking for all these friends that he had, for all the cameras, right? For all the people that were there. Seems nothing's showing up. Nothing's coming up. Now to them, that just proves that the white kids were innocent. To everyone with an IQ above room temperature who's trying to find the truth, that proves the literal opposite. That proves that there seems to be some type of cover-up. When you have hundreds and thousands of people there, no video, no witness testimony, no one's coming forward. The one white kid who came forward to tantrum is, that video is cut up. He's trying to clearly cover up something. You can see that even through the video editing. He was like, well, we were trying to save the boat. You were trying to save the boat and not your best friend? Is that what you're telling me? You don't know where your best friend is at all. You haven't heard from him, but you're more concerned with this boat. And that honestly goes to show you where their mindset is. Where their mindset is in 2026. That's why I call it the lineage of evil. Because you keep on thinking that you got friends. You don't have any friends, bro. When the ish hits the fan, you come to find out that these people value a boat over your life. Damn.
We're waiting right now. We're waiting. Ben Crump is supposed to be giving some sort of update in the case. Ben Crump is supposed to be giving some sort of update in the case. I want to show some love to the chat. I'm going to show some love to the chat. First, let me make sure I do this. And I got to show some love to the super duper support. Let's go.
Did y'all hear that?
Mel's going crazy.
Give it up for the ladies!
Let's go. Shout out to Mel. She says, where all my liking ass people at? We need y'all to handle that. Tap that like. Tap that like. Hit that like. Hit that like. Hey, y'all hit that like button. Shout out to Mills for the 1999 super chat, super step, super duper salute to you, and much appreciation, much obliged, much gratitude. That's what keep the lights on, the generator rolling, so the tick can stay up and this content can keep going. I'm talking about we're gonna keep it moving.
If you put that in context,
I'm gonna come back and show some love to the chat in a few. We're waiting. We are trying to get to the Ben Crump. Ben Crump is supposed to make an announcement at 12 o'clock. They're supposed to have some information about this, some sort of update about the Nolan Wells case at 12 noon. That's 9 for some of you guys. That's 10 for some of you guys. It all depends on where you're at. Right now, we're just going off Eastern time because that's how it was announced. 12 noon Eastern is 12 Eastern PM is when Ben Crump is supposed to be releasing new information. We're 15 minutes away. Let's go.
you can see exactly what's going on. Now, let's move on because I was given this video. And here's a video of the actual boat as they're getting towed out. Do you see Nolan on this boat whatsoever? Now, I did this so we can get context. Now, the nut job lunatics that want to believe what they want to believe, don't worry about them. I'm talking of those of us who really care about getting to the bottom of this. And just hold on with me because we got
Tatum and DL Hughley going back and forth. You know, there's accusations of the friend Bart. We got something of that. We got Katie speaking out. We got a few things to walk down. We're going to get to it, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Keep running the likes up. Let's go.
Got to get to the new stuff that I just heard before we run out of time. So that's a video of that.
Excuse me.
Now let me present something else to you because this is a video of what it looked like. And Nolan is in this video. We'll put the video up. Nolan is in this video. Put it on the screen. Pause it right here. So this was sent to us as well. I'm sure this video is circulating anyway. If you look at the boy in the blue shorts, right where his butt is at, you move over at the edge of the boat in his butt, and that's actually Nolan standing in the water right there. I'm going to have the team play the video and pan it so you can see what environment they were in similarly when the boat began to sink. Roll the clip. Pause. Do you guys see how many people are out there? Play it again. Do you guys see how many boats are out there? So this is where the boat is at when they begin to become distressed. Right in this area. As you can see how close they are to the land. You can see where the coordinates were at. Right there. So when they're taking in water, when their boat is beginning to sink because it's anchored, it's happening right there. So for somebody to believe that this dispatch call is a desperate call with Nolan laying dead in the middle of their boat, that does not make sense. And to think that nobody saw it when they're entangled within all these people, I think is a disservice. We need to get to the information that I heard. We'll get to Miss Rachel and her silly self. And Judge Mathis. We'll get to Judge Mathis. But what I was told, and you guys, please take in consideration that it's reliable sources. However, the only way to prove the truth in this is if I see it with my own eyes, if the law enforcement have the investigation of this, and also when the toxicology results come out. But people are messaging me and telling me that there is heavy drinking and there's cocaine involved. And there's a particular person whom I know this person's name. I'm not going to disclose it. I'm going to go to the police first, and then I will disclose it if it doesn't interfere in the investigation. But this person allegedly was offering people cocaine, and someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. And I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time. This person said it was 150% sure that when the toxicology comes back, that Nolan will have cocaine in his system. Now, again, taking into consideration, this is somebody telling me this. I'm not saying it's me. I'm not saying it. I'm not able to verify it. But from the sources that I'm getting it from has been.
Let's just say it was, all right? Let's just do this. And let's say it was a foul toxicology report. Let's say they did find narcotics in his toxicology. Does that mean that his life wasn't taken? That's all I'm asking. Does that mean that he was not murdered? Does that mean that his life wasn't taken just because? Let's just say it was. Let's say Nolan did just happen to do a line. Let's say he did bite down that night, get drunk, do a line, pop a bean, bite down. Let's say he did bite down that night. Does that erase the fact that the death is still mysterious? Does that alone make this not a homicide? Just because if it was to come back that it was cocaine or anything else in his system, does that, okay, now is case closed? No. So what is the purpose of even mentioning? Who gives a damn if he had coke in his system? It's already said. First of all, look at the crowd he's hanging with. Every last one of them comes to an interview doing the snort, doing their nose, wiping their nose every few. And this is all alleged. This is speculative speech. I'm just alleging, and I'm drawing a conclusion based off of what I see. This is my opinion. It doesn't count for anything. So I'm not saying that this is 100% sure, but as soon as I saw both of them guys that he interviewed during the interview, especially Warren, both of them were big nose. So say he did bite down. Say he did do something. That don't have nothing to do with a homicide.
Consistent, verifiable sources thus far, and haven't been wrong about nothing. So there's a possibility that there's a person that Nolan may have been around or interacted with that is giving cocaine to people on this island, that Nolan may have taken the cocaine. And then also, I received a DM from someone DMing another person. Now, I'm trying to leave these names out because I want to not mess this investigation up. I think law enforcement already have this. That alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person that I saw the DM from.
Didn't this nigga say he knew the name and he had the name of the person that it could have been and all this? Bruh, if you knew, don't you supposed to take that to the police? Especially you being an ex-officer? Ain't it your civic duty?
And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Now, the person did not say they saw a physical altercation. The person did not say what time they saw Nolan and this other person get into an argument. Now, this is after Warren, their boat left. This may be somewhere around a little bit before 6, right around 6 or a little bit before 6 p.m. Now, according to the autopsy, which I interviewed a medical examiner about this, there is no evidence of blunt force trauma or an evidence that Nolan got into a physical altercation. So I'm putting all this stuff together, what people are sending me and all that, and I'm trying to find a neutral point to share with you. What I'm thinking at this point, with all that has been said, is that somebody knows exactly what happened to Nolan, or they saw him right before he died. I am not convinced that Nolan was just out there and drowned. It could be. That could have happened. But I'm more convinced now than ever based on what people have been telling me and DMs that I've been seeing, people that have been verified sources, that has to be something with this cocaine. There has to be something with Nolan and a girl. And there has to be something with Nolan potentially being in either altercation with somebody, which would lead me to believe that that person saw Nolan last. And that this other person that's giving people cocaine. So this person giving people cocaine, a girl, Nolan, and another person that he may have been in an argument with, to me, are people that need to be investigated. And I can say more, but I'm trying not to get anything messed up in this case because I want justice for Nolan, and I want the boys that weren't involved in this to not get caught up in stupidity. So just so you guys know, I know the names of the cocaine person. I believe I know who the girl is. And I know the name of the person that may have been in an argument with Nolan. And there's nothing conclusive that anybody's telling me where there was violence that occurred.
So as an ex-officer, is it his civic duty to provide this information? Is he allowed to withhold this information if this could break a case? Is he allowed to do that?
But that does not mean that the violence is ruled out. That does not mean that something could have happened in the water. Another report came to me of someone saying that they saw Nolan with a girl, being intimate in the water to the point where it caught their attention. And they believed that they saw Nolan and this girl struggling in the water, not necessarily drowning, but struggling. Like it was obvious enough that the person was concerned when they saw Nolan in the water and he was with this girl. And that the person explicitly said that they were being intimate, which I don't know what that means as far as just kissing, hugging, cuddling, or something else. But that's what has been told to me. And these sources I think have been legitimized. But what they're saying, I haven't been able to verify. This is just someone saying this, and I'm telling you what I'm hearing. So when the toxicology come back, if there's cocaine in the system, to me, that will validate that these people that have been telling me this are being accurate.
We'll come back to this guy. Let's talk about the friend for a little bit. Y'all gotta forgive me. A little bit of 420 in the background. Let's talk about the friend a little bit while we wait on this press conference. We're waiting on Ben Crump. Ben Crump is going to discuss the Nolan Wells case amongst two other very important cases right now, man. Let's go.
Which is the woman yelling out, "Oh my God," and "Damn it, Bart." According to a recent interview by Warren Hudson, the self-proclaimed best friend of Nolan, and who was identified since the case's earliest reports, the lead call would be made just as they were getting help to be told by their friend Bart Edmiston. Which means that "Damn it, Bart" was more than likely directed towards Edmiston, who happens to be a former student of Ocean Springs High School and a now collegiate athlete for the University of Wyoming as their starting punter. Now, upon research,
shout out Wyoming. You guys keep running the lights up. Let's go.
It can even be confirmed that Bart and Wells were also former teammates, as seen here in this picture, shared on Ocean Spring High School's football Facebook page. And ironically, what appeared to be a very wholesome moment of them next to each other, talking to elementary students, no longer reflects the status of where Edmiston and Wells have now ended up today, with one being a victim of a mysterious death and another accused of being behind it. Now, for those who feel Edmiston should be in question, mainly comes from his aggressive tone when seemingly yelling out "Shut the F up" or "Wake the F up" before someone yells out "Damn it, Bart," which for those who feel that the audio reveals a possibly dying Nolan was on one of the boats or near the boats, falls perfectly into the timeline after a female passenger would yell "Oh my God" in horror as if she witnessed something gruesome. Suspicions for some about Bart also center around the lack of mention of him by anyone during this entire case, as if he was purposely being hidden. So who is Bart Edmiston Jr.? According to research, he is 21 years of age and looks to have left Ocean Springs High School soon after he and a younger Wells were teammates in 2022 to continue his football career. He is noted for being one of Mississippi's best high school punters, followed by several awards in his time in junior college, to just as recent as last October, as he would make the Ray Guy Award Raise 8 selection as one of the top 8 punters in the country with an average of 45.3 yards per punt. Back in 2022, Edmiston was named Athlete of the Week by Gulf Coast, Mississippi news outlet WXXV25.
My dad, which is also Bart Edmiston, I'm a junior, he kicked at the University of Florida, 1992-96. And then he's always wanted me to kick, and then I started it going into my 8th grade year. Last year, I was the only kicker on the roster, so I had to do everything by myself, be my own ball boy, go fetch all my balls. But now, I have my little brother. He came up, he's in 10th grade. He's a kicker and punter also. But now I'm like, I make him do all my duties for me. I'll make him go fetch the balls. He's my ball boy now. Kind of mean, but it's brotherly love. When I hit a good punt or a good field goal, I just chase that again.
Now, outside of this audio that has now placed Edmiston at the center of what happened to Wells, there already appears to have been a paper trail on him. As revealed by several sources, Edmiston met with the police and his boat's GPS data was also pulled. In a separate report, it goes on to say that Edmiston provided an investigator with his driver's license and boat registration card. Now, as we stated in our most recent report, we are certain that the FBI and investigators have the necessary tools to confirm what was said in the background during the emergency call to end all speculation. But until that happens, Edmiston now sits in the spotlight, as Wells' family and supporters continue to ask questions on how did a 6'1" athlete vanish amongst a crowd of hundreds of people and then be later washed ashore in the area he was last seen, with no witnesses coming forward when he was first reported to be missing. Now, as mentioned by state officials, the investigation on the mysterious death of Nolan Wells is ongoing, but it appears that the longer that they wait and bits of information comes out, only creates an environment for more speculation. As far as what should happen next, people like former Mississippi Judge Carlos Moore are expecting arrests to be made soon. On his Facebook, Moore would write, "We need some arrests this week." Now, across parts of social media, many would take to TikTok and elsewhere to share their reaction to the newly highlighted audio and their thoughts on what needs to happen.
The Nolan Wells case, I am convinced that he was strangled on that boat by Bart. And this is why. So with the audio and the confirmation, I was waiting for more of an expert kind of level. So like Nancy Grace, and she's bringing all these experts and confirming transcripts that I've heard from other creators on here that isolated some of the voice on there. Yeah, whoever this Bart guy, he strangled Nolan. That's where I'm at. And this is why also with the second autopsy, they said that parts of his neck, the organs inside were missing. I think they're trying to cover up that he was strangled.
Well, the new audio came out from that CTO dispatch. I want y'all ass to jail. From Bart to Wyatt to that damn mom who was that judge. Y'all knew something happened to Nolan Wells. Look, in that CTO dispatch call, before somebody picked up, can we cover it up? You killed him. Is he already dead? Nolan, wake up. Look, damn it, Bart. I think Bart ass did it.
Case before the sheriff's office. That's what gets me. Y'all were so quick to declare that there was no foul play.
So
has the motive for the mysterious death of Nolan Wells just been revealed on social media?
Walking in the opposite direction towards my boat, and I dabbed Nolan up. I made a slick comment about something, actually about the girl that he was with. I made a slick comment to him.
So he made a slick comment about the girl Nolan was with. Now, we all know the girl Nolan was with on Horn Island was Katie, right? Introducing
Whoa.
Katie. This is Katie. And guess who the gentleman is over there?
Wow.
I got a shot of it. I'm not gonna.
Like, if anything, you could come closer.
No, it's okay. I appreciate your help. Thank you. It's fine.
Officer Tatum and B.L. Hughley back and forth. We'll get to all of that. Well, depending on how long this press conference is, what we will do now is show some love to the chat. Let's show some love to the chat while we got time. I know a lot of people might leave because of the extra love that is cool. We're not here for the Crump. We're here for the day ones, the everyday true support. The ones that really show the love, the ones that are here consistently. So that's why we can shout out. First and foremost, let me shout out to the top 10. XO Males. Number 2, we got Jeffrey Epps. Number 3, we got Nurse Lady T. Number 4, we got Anonymous 1. Number 5, we got Mike from the Field. Number 6, we got Big Brother Rob from the group home. Number 7, we got Shada Sage. Number 8, we got Black Cat. Number 9, we got Mary Anna. And number 10, we got A-A-Y-R. Shout out to y'all. Super duper salute to y'all. And let's go to the top 10 males at number 1, 2 days. Fellas, y'all don't make number 1.
One more time, you do.
Tighten up, fellas. What we doing? What we doing? Once again, these are unfortunate circumstances, but we are here. And we are still. All right, now, welcome back to the RUMORNATI NETWORK. Turn up for me if I can.
Right now, I only have like families of whoever, but I don't have the actual resources.
Oh, we low? What about now? It could be the background noise. Let's go though. I'm seeing people in the chat saying that that picture with Bart and what's supposed to be Katie isn't real. Okay, so y'all ain't hear my top 10. Let me shout out these top 10 once again then, because it ain't started yet. Number 1, we got XO Males. Let's go. Number 2, we got Jeffrey Epps. Number 3, we got Nurse Lady T. Number 4, we got Anonymous 1. Number 5, we got Mike from the Ville. Number 6, we got Big Rob from the group home. Number 7, we got Nelijah Fabian. Number 8, we got Shada Sage. Number 9, we got Blake Kelly. Number 10, we got Mary Anner. Shout out to y'all. Super duper salute to the top 10. Let's go. And I said shout out to Mels for making it to number 1 again. Give it up for the ladies being the number 1. Give it up for the ladies! And fellas, if y'all keep letting that happen, if y'all let the ladies be number 1 again.
One more time, you do.
Y'all gotta tighten up. Come on, fellas. And I apologize for all the extra noise. I want everybody to know, yes, this isn't a joyous occasion. We are here on account of somebody's demise, but I will say this, we are still alive. I'm one of the people who feel like, listen, if I die, okay, you may feel sad, you may be sad, but you got to keep living. You got to do what it is you got to do. You got to take care of your priorities. You have to still make sure you're happy, healthy, everything. So don't just be, since we're here and you guys are talking about hit the like button, but we should be focused more on justice. Bitch ass nigga, you sitting down watching a YouTube video talking about some justice. Get your ass out there in the streets and go do something. Get your ass in them conferences and go do something. Get your ass in them city council meetings and go do something. Other than that, shut up, engage, because we're on YouTube. That's what we're here for. Okay? Engage. Show some love. So hit the like, because we're still alive. It's not saying anything about their death. RIP to them, condolences to them. But if I pass on, y'all go throw a second line like I'm from New Orleans, nigga. Don't sit around sad, crying, bullshitting about, nigga, I want y'all to be up, nigga. Go second line for me. What? party for me. We waiting on this press conference to start, man. We waiting on this press conference to start, y'all. Super duper salute. Y'all keep running them likes up. Hold on. Once again, I got to show love to the most aggravating chat in the game, the most appreciated chat in the world. And we got to make some more noise. So I know I'm finna run some more people out of here. I don't even care. We about to make some more noise. I'm about to run some more people out of here. I don't even care because I have to show love. No content creator is nothing without the support of the people. And we done not only been aggravating, but we done broke the glass. We done hit the 50 like threshold and the 100 like threshold. So right now, since there's nothing going on, I'm taking the time to shout out my people because they support me. They shout me out. I shout them out. We reciprocate over here. Reciprocity. Y'all aggravating.
Aggravating as hell, man.
Aggravating as hell. But we done broke the glass. How we get a whole 100 likes? What? Well, we got 100 likes. Let's go. Shout out to y'all. We got 100 likes. Let's go. 100 likes. Big up yourselves. Big up yourselves. Most aggravating chat in the game. Most appreciated chat in the world. Let's go. Let's go. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the continued support. Continuing to run it up. I'm going to be quiet, y'all. I got to show some love to the chat, though.
I mean, I noticed it's like 4 degrees warmer here. I don't know what your humidity is.
And for the rest of y'all that's mad, yeah, I know we ran a few hundreds out of here. That's cool. I told y'all I'm good with a strong 300. 300 strong. We the Spartans. It don't matter. I got to show love to the chat because the chat show love to me. The chat is the reason that any content creator could do whatever it is they do, however many hundreds, thousands, millions of views. If it wasn't for the chat, nigga, y'all wouldn't be shit. That's why I stop and show love. We got a break. Let's go. The Professor 8 says, it's black news. Without us there, it's no news. Marvelous Hendrix sent 100 for 2 Jews. Let's go. Big Rich says, nah, they'll learn. They in the right place. Nurse of the T said, yes. Andy Mike from the Ville says, understood. Big Rich says, LOL, who the called it black news? Get them up out of here. Mike from the Ville says, ran they ass the off, fam. Let's go. Anonymous says, I was pushing them 100 likes hard, and we reached them, bro. Let's go. We almost at 2. Blake Kelly says, I get it, but you don't get the covered. I get it, but you don't get it covered the right way. The word black for me means perspective, not color, if that makes sense. Professor says, salute. Mike from the Ville says, if you don't got to call it black news, fam, it's just news. Big Rich says, what up, fam? Shout out to all y'all. Nurse at the T, I see you. Blake Kelly says, Rumor, the only black news I get is from Rumor. Is that Divinely Lit? What up with it, Divinely Lit? I think we good. Shout out to all the new subs, man. Shout out to all the new subs. Elijah Fabian agreed. We do hear the conversation louder. I mean, the convention louder. Excuse me, guys. That's because I had that desktop audio going while I was talking. Mel sent the GG for 10 jewels. Anonymous says we hear the convention more than you, Rumor. Okay, we got that fixed. Nurse lady said it's good now. Audio clear.
The good thing is, I mean, I'm ready to leave.
How long are they going to take? How long are they going to take? Come on, guys.
They do. Usually, I mean, it's not to say that they don't get rid of people.
Now we still gonna keep it all alleged because I was looking at the tattoo. Maybe she got the tattoo after this, but she's in a picture with Bart, y'all.
That is Bart Edmiston. This is the same Bart whose identity was almost hidden from all of us because Warren went on to Officer Race Batum Tatum's channel and he kept saying, my buddy this, my buddy. And we all like, who is my buddy? And one time he slipped and said Bart's name. But the buddy he was referring to was Bart, and that's Bart. So Bart and Katie were a thing? Huh? Now for those of you all who don't know, Bart Edmiston plays football. And one thing about Mississippi, honey, I'm from Mississippi. Mississippi loves football. Anybody that plays football, especially from a small town, they are a big daggum deal. And if anything go down in a small town with a football player and he white, honey, the whole town is going to rally around to try to hide things. Is that what they doing in the Nolan Wells case? Everybody know what happened? Maybe Bart was jealous because Nolan was with his ex-girlfriend. Maybe they were a thing at one time. Now we know Bart Edmiston Jr. plays football at the University at Wyoming. He's 22 years old and he is from Ocean Springs. Now we know Katie McCormick, she's 19 years old and she's from Ocean Springs as well. Bart was a big...
From what I'm hearing, that picture that they're showing of Katie, which I wish I could cover it up, ain't Katie.
Daggum deal. Now, although we all know that Nolan Wells was expected to go to a D1 school to play football, he wasn't at the status of Bart yet. Bart was already there. So, and not to mention, Nolan is black, Katie is white. Who do you think the friends are going to side with? Even his friend, whom Christine Wansley stated, she didn't even know that Sebastian was a best friend. Even he said he made a slick comment. Was the slick comment that, oh, you know that's Bart's girl? Was Katie Bart's long-time girlfriend? If he came back, maybe that's why they were trying to keep it a secret, because something nefarious went on that boat, because Bart family has allegedly a home off the waters. It would have taken him no time to get to Ocean Springs. Maybe somebody called Bart and told him, hey, you know, Nolan is with your girl. And he got on that boat and hopped on down there to Horn Island. Or maybe just because it is a big deal to go to Horn Island for the 4th of July. Everybody and their mama was on Horn Island. And he came down for the 4th from Wyoming. Matter of fact, they out of school anyway. He probably was getting ready to go back to football camp. He probably been in Horn Island, Ocean Springs the whole time anyway, rekindling with Haiti. Anyway, it's one thing about social media. Social media will not be undefeated, and baby, we got internet sleuths everywhere. Listen, all I have to say is justice for Nolan Wells and everybody who's coming out doing their research.
Did Tisa put up a new video? Because whatever she had up yesterday, she took down. I don't know if it was for misinformation or what, but she sure took it down.
Don't stop. Keep your foot on the state of Mississippi, because, baby, they will hide, they will sneak, and they will lie here in the state of Mississippi just to keep the truth from coming out.
Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update and just a few
idea just how intricate of a player he was when it came to the Nolan Wells case. As more information comes to light, it's becoming clear that Bart may have played a much bigger role in the events surrounding that day than many people initially realized. Now, Bart previously said, hey, I just wanted you to know Nolan was a friend of mine. I want justice and facts to come out. I just want you to know I live in Wyoming and I haven't been in Pass Christian for over a year. I grieve for Nolan and want the same as everyone else. Thank you for your support.
Hello? Yeah, there's lots of people breathing on the boat.
Right.
Like,
in the water, though.
Like we grown, right?
Yeah,
There's two people in the water. They feeling each other.
Right.
Like meaning feeling they like each other.
Right.
And
that was
he's
obvious.
a little more close to her, and
Yeah.
they're kind of having a moment.
Correct.
Not saying and not insinuating that it's sexual, but
No, of course not, yeah.
they're together. They like each other. You looking at him, you like, bro, you crazy because
Yeah.
you know that he like her.
Maybe Tisa erased that video from last night because what I saw in the chat, you guys saying that that's not really Katie. Could that be it?
And he's hanging out with her.
Yeah, right.
Now, these two are not only connected through Katie. Bart also knew Nolan as a former Ocean Springs football teammate. Bart
She got a stream up, but what about that video that she dropped?
Edmiston Jr. is a talented punter whose football career has taken him from the Mississippi Gulf Coast to becoming one of the top punters in the country. Bart currently attends the University of Wyoming, where he is in his senior year. Now, with such a promising career in football, you can only imagine the lengths some might take to make sure that Edmiston Jr.'s name stays far away from this case as possible. Unfortunately for him, his name appears in the missing person report prepared by MDMR Marine Patrol. According to Warren, Edmiston's boat was among the 3 vessels
The National Urban League and all of our affiliates,
How's it at the end? Y'all see this?
Justice for Daniel Irvin. 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 Justice for Tyler Smith. 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 Justice for our black children. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me say how much I appreciate you all coming out for this important media conference. We have organized this press conference for a few purposes. One purpose is because we want the world to know that the National Urban League and all of our affiliates and members and supporters across the country are standing with these three families. And when families suffer the tragedy of the loss of a child, it gets lonely. And when families suffer the loss of children under circumstances that are suspicious and to the naked eye appear unjust, we must stand with these families. Amen. When families face the challenge of a non-responsive criminal justice system, we must stand with these families. With this giant of a lawyer and advocate over the last 15 years, going all the way back to Trayvon Martin, we have stood with Ben Crump and his clients. And we have stood with Ben Crump and his clients because we want the community to know that we are not going to be silent in the face of injustice. Amen. You and I cannot even fathom the pain of these families. I want to thank them for their courage, for being here in public, under the glare of the media, in these circumstances. But we want them to know they are with family. We are standing with family. So Ben Crump is going to bring us all up to date on the latest facts, events, and status of these three cases. And we are going to continue, as we said in the earlier session, to advocate until there is justice for these three families. And we will not be silent. We will not get tired. Amen. We will not get distracted. Amen. Until justice rolls down in these three cases. Amen. So I'm proud to introduce a man who is known as the Attorney General for Black America. And I dare say he stands with the great lawyers that our community has produced. Thurgood Marshall, Constance Baker Motley, Johnny Cotton, and I can name so many others, who over the years have been advocates for our community in many, many ways. So ladies and gentlemen, the next voice you are going to hear is from one of America's great lawyers, and someone who is giving voice to the families and the victims of injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Crump.
Thank you to President and CEO of the National Urban League, Mark Morial. Please give a great round of applause for him not thinking it robbery to invite the families to be here at this great convention. We are so grateful to him and the others in the civil rights community for standing up like they have stood up in the past. And just like we got justice for George Floyd, just like we got justice for Breonna Taylor, Lee Merritt, just like we got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we gonna get justice for Nolan Wells. We gonna get justice for Daniel Irvin, and we gonna get justice for Tyler Smith. And the large part is because you all are not afraid to speak truth to power. Thank you, Mr. Mario. Again, I'm Attorney Ben Crump. Eric Hertz. We are here fighting for the family with other great lawyers for Nolan Wells. We also have present with us the family of Daniel Irvin, who many of you are just learning about outside of Dallas, Texas, and his tragedy. We have Attorney Sean DeRaya and Attorney Brooke Cluse fighting to help that family get justice, and we want to applaud his mother, Tamika, who has been fighting as only a mother would fight with not many people in the world listening. But we're listening today, Tamika. You are not alone, Tamika. You got Nolan's mother and father, Christine and Elmore Wansley, who are standing with you as well. Tamika, your daughter is here. You are not alone. God, please let her know she is not alone. Justice for Daniel Irvin. Attorney Harry Daniels, we also have the family of Tyler Smith, Lexington, Kentucky. You're going to hear from all these families. You're going to hear from Tyler's mother and especially his grandmother. You know, until the lawyers get there, until the community advocates get there, a lot of times these families are just by themselves, President Mariel. And thank God for this mother and this praying grandmother who refused to let them sweep the death of her grandbaby under the rug. Nolan Wells. And you'll hear from his mother and father after brief remarks by Attorney Hertz and Attorney Park. But we all know July 4th, Nolan Wells goes with friends, celebrating the 4th of July. All the friends come back. Nolan Wells tragically washes up on the shore 2 days later, dead. And so we know all the current events that have been happening. We are announcing that we have the audio from the officials, and we have retained and are consulting with some of the foremost audio engineering experts to review those audio tapes from the CETO call in its entirety. We also, and Attorney Hertz may go into greater detail on these matters, have consulted President Mariel with oceanic engineering experts to talk about how these facts are lining up. The fact that they say Nolan's body was found in the same location where they say they left him at. And so we want to know, how is that possible with the oceanic tides? We want the experts. I mean, you got low tides and high tides. It's not adding up, so we are going to dot every I and cross every T until we find out what happened to Nolan Wells. Attorney Hertz will also go into a little more detail, and Attorney Park, about how we're trying to coordinate with Dr. Roger Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy of Nolan Wells, to be able to inspect his throat that was missing with his body when he was flown to do the autopsy with Dr. Mitchell. Also, we are hopeful that they will discuss with Dr. Mitchell the photographs and observations made at the time when Nolan was first discovered, because Dr. Mitchell did not get an opportunity until July 10th to be able to examine his body. And at that time, we know the airways and the lungs had already been dissected and so forth, so we can't tell if there was the presence of water or not. That would suggest whether he drowned or not. And remember what Dr. Roger Mitchell said in his autopsy. President Mariel, he talked about the fact that to say he drowned does not draw the conclusions of what happened to Nolan Wells. He said it is equally important to know at what condition was Nolan Wells' body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or was he unconscious? Was he forced into the water or did he go unforced into the water? He said all of these things are very important. And so we're dotting I's and crossing T's. We are focused on getting to the truth, and we stand for the truth. Me and everybody on my legal team stand for the truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. Who it acquits. See, and that's all we want. We want answers. We're not casting aspersions on anybody. We are saying that we want to make sure everybody who is remotely involved has their questions answered, to make sure we have a full and fair and impartial and transparent investigation. And is that too much to ask for these broken-hearted parents? Is that too much to ask? They're attacking the parents of Nolan Wells. We don't care about those distractions. We ain't no waste time. We are completely focused, completely laser focused on getting to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Attacks mean nothing to us. We will not be deterred. Look into our eyes. We're going to get to the truth. I am so grateful to Mr. Byron Allen for donating $100,000 to the GoFundMe so we can help get the best experts in the world. I am thankful to Reverend Al Sharpton. I am thankful to Mr. Tyler Perry. I'm thankful to Mr. Tara Owens. I am very thankful to everybody who did not think it robbery to say, what can we do to help people get to the truth and call in to the tip line so we can help not only Nolan Wells' family, but we can help Daniel Irvin's family, and we can help Tyler Smith's family as well. Everybody on social media, please continue to ask questions. Please continue to share photographs, share videos. It all helps us solve this potential of what happened to Nolan Wells. Somebody knows something. As Christine and Elmore have said, if you're really Nolan's friend, you know in your heart of hearts that if the roles were reversed, that Nolan would say something. He would call and tell what he saw. And so that's all they're asking. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Black Caucus, please stand and join us, Congresswoman, because you all asking the questions from the Department of Justice and everybody who has any kind of authority to be able to help us get answers on Nolan Wells and the other 18-year-old black boy. Now, before I bring up the lawyers, I just want to say a word about Daniel Irvin and about his case, and you'll hear from Attorney Sean DeRea, and after you hear from his mother, Tamika. So similar in what they're saying about Nolan Wells, and that is her 18-year-old son, President Maria, Congresswoman Beatty, two young white teenagers come, pick them up from their house, leave, they go on, I guess it's an alleged fishing trip. Her son, I guess they are saying, accidentally drowns. But his two friends then throw away his clothes, right, Sean? Throw away his cell phone, go and delete all the text messages young people come between Daniel Irvin and them, and then say nothing. If it's an accidental drowning, why wouldn't you come to his mother and tell her he drowned by accident? Why wouldn't you go to the authorities? Why wouldn't you go to somebody and say there was a terrible tragedy, he accidentally drowned? But no, they gonna throw away all of the evidence that is germane to finding out what happened. And it's only after his mother raised all kind of hell, and for 4 days they are searching for what happened. Minister Dominique Alexander and the activists in Dallas, they're saying, no, something happened to Daniel Irvin. We got to get to the bottom of this. Then and only then, Mark Mariel, does the young people come forward to the authorities with their parents, and they say, well, we were there, and they confessed that they threw away his cell phone and his clothes, and they deleted the messages. And so law enforcement charged and arrested him after 3 months. 3 months passed, not until Nolan Wells started making the news did they finally come and they arrest them, but not for the death of Daniel Irvin. They arrest them with tampering with evidence, and that's it. And what his mother is saying, what Attorney DeRea is saying, what Attorney Crump is saying is simply this: if they would lie about his cell phone and throw it away, if they would lie about his clothes and throw it away, if they would lie about deleting text messages between Daniel and them, how can you believe it when they say it was an accidental drowning? They need to take this case to a grand jury. And you're going to hear from his mother talk about other things that don't add up, about the conduct of the boys immediately after the drowning, the alleged drowning. It's so critically important that we remember Daniel Irvin as well. And then Attorney Park, Attorney Cruz, we talk about Tyler Smith, and I'll just try to paint the picture real quickly for you, and then you'll hear from these parents, these broken-hearted parents. 4th of July. You can't make this stuff up, Congresswoman Beatty. Attorney Daniels, 4th of July, same 4th of July 2026 when Nolan goes missing. Tyler Smith in Lexington, Kentucky is the only black person in the home where they're having a 4th of July small house party. Somehow, Tyler ends up being shot in his head, dead. 911 is called. They come, the police get there. They tell them that he shot himself, that they were playing Russian roulette. That's what they say. They say, this the gun. The police retrieve the gun, and then they take their word as the gospel that he shot himself. They don't do gunshot residue on the hands of Tyler or nobody else. I mean, basic investigation 101. If you say he shot himself, wouldn't you bag his hands and wouldn't you test it for gunshot residue? But they don't do that. And you're going to hear from his grandmother and his mother as to the explanation, the implausible explanation that they offered them. And the fact that the gun, President Mariel, that they claimed he used to shoot himself with, the police, after they do analysis, it does not match the casings that they found on the floor to where he shot himself at. So still, they are taking their word for it. And it's 7 days later, right, Miss Niecy? 7 days later, after they did say who I was in the house, they have to identify everybody who was in the home. And then they have to track down, well, if this is not the gun that caused the death of Tyler Smith, well, where's the gun at? So they have to go investigate, and they go surround one of the young men's houses, Lee Merritt, and they surround the house. He doesn't come and volunteer after knowing that they're trying to find out and get evidence about what happened to Tyler Smith and come forward voluntarily. They have to go to his house and surround it, and then he comes out and finally he volunteers that this is the gun. Think about that, Kathleen Tree. Just think about that for a second. You would think, after all of that, he is surely going to be arrested and charged with killing or being in a way responsible for the death of this 18-year-old young black man. But no. He is only charged with tampering with evidence, correct, Ms. Niecy? Nothing more. And nobody in all three of the questionable deaths of these 18-year-old young black kids, nobody has been held accountable in any way. And so that's why we're here, saying that we are not deterred. We're not going to let you sweep it under the rug. We're going to get to the answers of what happened to Nolan Wells, what happened to Daniel Irvins, and what happened to Tyler Smith. 3 18-year-old black boys in a 3-month period around 4th of July, 2026, who all were unalived in very similar ways as Nolan Wells. And I'm very thankful to his parents for using the attention that they were given and blessed with to also give attention to these other 18-year-old black boys. Thank you for his attention. You're going to hear briefly from Attorney Eric Hertz and then Attorney Lisa Park with some updates, and then you'll hear from Nolan Wells' parents. Attorney Eric Hertz, a great.
Thank you for showing up. I have some brief updates on the Nolan Wells case. We have been working with the district attorney. We've gotten a letter back yesterday, and she's willing to listen to some of the evidence we have, although we're having to still discuss her giving us back evidence, and that's something that we will see. The phones, not just our clients' phones, but the other phones that are involved in this situation, we are trying to coordinate and have come to a tentative agreement with the district attorney to go ahead and have them investigated together jointly with our experts as well as their experts, and I believe, if I'm not speaking out of turn, the FBI is going to also be present there, and that's going to show a lot of stuff that we haven't seen. I'm going to keep this short, but as I always say, I would like to say one more time, society is judged by how the most powerful treat the most vulnerable, and justice will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Eric Hertz. And now you will hear briefly from Attorney Lisa Park, who heads up our Atlanta, Georgia office and has been leading on this for Nolan Wells.
So today I just want to recognize all of these families for coming here today, traveling here to Nashville, even family that's here in the audience. If you think for just a moment, for these tragedies, they really just happened. They really just happened. And if you've never had a loved one that you've lost, it's hard. And you feel like going into a quiet place by yourself, mourning, grieving, doing all of our own religious rituals, right? And so it's quite hard that these families have had to come into the spotlight to stand up for their children. This is not where they want to be. And for those people who somehow think that they want to be in the spotlight, I guarantee you, this is not where they want to be. For all of these families, for every single family member that is suffering through these losses. So I want to commend all of these families. I also want to commend them for coming together as a group, right? Because all of us, we are stronger together. We are stronger together. And there are so many unanswered questions for all three of these cases. But there's hope. And I see that hope because we do get calls. We have been getting over 100 calls a day. And I want to thank everybody who's called in, because for every time there's a hater that's saying that these people just want the spotlight, when somebody calls in with some encouragement, when somebody calls in with some information, it makes up for that. Because we know that we're stronger together. These questions, these cases can be solved, and we can do it together. So I want to thank everybody for calling, right? But I also, last thing, I want to encourage those who have not called yet, and you know that you have some information. One, I know that it's scary. I know that you may be scared. But if there's a time in your life to do the right thing, this is it. And you just have to be brave. And go ahead and please call us. These people, we need you. We need you. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Park. And as Nolan's mother and father get ready to come, I cannot express to you how encouraged we are that we're going to get to the truth. I mean, so many things are coming to light, and we're going to get to the truth. We are not trying to cast aspersions on anybody. We want the truth. We want the truth. That's what we want. And like we said, if that implication or exonerates you, then you got to talk to your Lord. You got to talk to your God. But we want the truth and nothing but the truth. And if it was your child, you would want the same thing. And so that's why everybody who got children, you could understand the pain, the agony that this mother and father have been dealing with since 4th of July. How people came, within hours of finding him saying, well, no foul play, just gone. How do you tell somebody just go on when my son is dead? and nobody's giving us any answers. All those people out on that island, and you mean nobody knows nothing? Nobody saw anything? No, we refuse to accept that nobody knows nothing. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth, and it's starting to come to light. Because truth is light, and we're going to get to the truth. Y'all give it up for the mother and father of Nolan Wells, Elmer and Christine.
Thank you all for being here today. It has been 27 days since we have been able to talk to our son, to hug him, to tell him we love him. This has been the most difficult time we have ever had. I want to tell you who Nolan was. Nolan was a God-fearing, God-loving child. He loved everyone. He was the person who would just make you feel comfortable just being in his space. He was never one to exclude. He always wanted everyone to be happy, to feel good, to have purpose. He would lift anyone up. It didn't even matter if he didn't know you. If you took that moment to just tell him a little bit about yourself, what you wanted to do with your life, right then and there, Nolan would be your biggest cheerleader. Today we are begging, because I'm not too proud to beg. We are begging, if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline, because we will not be able to rest until we get answers. But please understand that all of these distractions, these other questions that people, the attacks that people have sent our way, just know we will not be distracted. We are ready to do whatever we need to do as his parents to continue advocating for him, because Nolan is not here. He is not here to speak for himself. He is not here to tell us what happened. So again, we will not rest until we get answers. And if you know something, you need to let us know. Please do not be afraid. Okay? Thank you all so much again. We truly appreciate your love and support.
I'm faced with a new challenge every morning, waking up, trying to process this. It's the biggest challenge I've ever had. I pretty much was raised up like a lot of you. I didn't have a lot, but I always said I wanted to give my children more than what I had. And I think me and my wife did that. We raised Nolan to love everyone, be kind to everyone, because it was just the right thing to do. I got a lot of stuff, but what I really want to say is, like my wife said, if you know something and you are really, if Nolan was really your best friend, or for the people who say that he was their friend, please come forward and tell us what you know. All we want to know is the truth. We're not blaming anyone. We just want to know the truth. Any parent wants that. Also, the disrespect that's been coming toward my wife and my family. For any parent, no matter what race you are, they need time to grieve. A parent can't grieve when you have people attacking them, attacking their jobs, attacking their character, just attacking them, period. Like, where's the empathy? We, as Americans, this is a diverse country. Not no one race made this country. We all made this race, made this country. So we all need to come together. And like I said, if you know something, please come forward and just call our attorneys, give them information, and they'll take it from there. Just help us out, and not just us, but all these families in councils. Anyone with information on any one of these cases, please come forward. Because losing a child is something that's got to do with the rest of life. Thank you.
Thank you. And President Mario, I would just say the attacks, Christine has been a nurse for years, and she hasn't ever gotten negative reviews. But since she has been advocating to find out what happened to her 18-year-old son after he was washed up dead on Horn Island, sick people have been going on her company's website giving her negative reviews. Can you all imagine anything worse than that? That is a shame before God. They are just sick, evil people who would attack this mother and this father for simply saying, we want to know what happened to our child. Don't worry, Christine. We standing with you. We are standing with you. Yeah, and next we're going to have the mother of Daniel Irvin come and talk about her child and tell you what happened in her words, and then you'll hear brief remarks from attorney Sean DeRay. Sean, you want to briefly from attorney DeRay will briefly speak before her, and then we'll have to.
Thank you, Mr. Crump. Tampering charges in this case is absolutely unacceptable. Tampering in itself means that someone intentionally hid, destroyed, or altered evidence. If the district attorney's office has that evidence, take that evidence, put it together, and present it to a new grand jury. And if the district attorney's office doesn't want to do it, we are calling on an independent investigation by the Department of Justice, because we are here for the truth. And one last point I want to add to what Mr. Crump said. Daniel Irving, when these boys said that he drowned, he was a high school swimmer. He was on the swim team. He was a healthy, young 18-year-old male. So that story that he drowned accidentally, it doesn't add up. It does not add up, and we want the truth.
Police and law enforcement are supposed to be protecting and serving. But my question today is, who are they protecting and which communities are they serving? What we want to know is why crimes against Black and brown people receive less justice and less coverage. And I'm going to give you some data to back it up, and I'm going to read it because I don't want to make any mistakes here. Over a 10-year period, statistics show that 53% of Black killings go uncharged, no charges related. And so that means over half of those related killings are never prosecuted. And when you think about arrest rates, 63% of white victims receive justice versus are compared to 47% of Black victims. So when people think we have two systems of justice in this country, the data kind of backs that up. And now we'll hear from Tamika.
My name is Tamika Irving. I am the mother of Daniel Irving. This is my daughter, Azaria Irving. This is Daniel's eldest sister. So, what a lot of you guys don't know, to give you like some context, my son told me that he was going to go outside and hang with some friends, okay? And I was under the understanding that he would be in the neighborhood. So I didn't know where my son was. I thought that he was just visiting friends in the neighborhood. Around 8 o'clock or so, I started to text Mike, call Mike, and Mike was an honorable child. He wanted to serve and protect, be in the military. He loved people. He always had a joke to tell. He was very comical. So I called the police the following day at 12:30 in the morning, and I said, hey, my son ID is here, and his money is here, and his social security is here, and I don't know where he's at, and this is not like him, so I'm reporting him missing under suspicious circumstances. The officers were very dismissive. The officers were very dismissive. So I didn't get any information about where my son was. I canvassed the neighborhood. I knocked on doors. I asked neighbors for video footage. I had to do the footwork, the research, the investigating. I had to do it. And so to the mothers, to anyone out there who have a loved one, do not wait for the police to do their job. Okay, so fast forward, I reported my son missing. My son was to graduate in May. He was unable to graduate because the two boys murdered my son. They said my son jumped off a bridge, and I know that's not the truth. He was found in water. And not only that, my son was on the swim team. He was very comfortable with swimming in the pool, swimming in lakes. The autopsy report shows my son had an unobstructed airway. So my son did not drown. I want to know why the people that are in place to serve and protect failed to do their job from the very start. When I reported my son missing, it took them 35 hours, over 35 hours to input his information only in the state system, showing that he was missing. They failed to enter his information in the NCIC, the National Criminal Database. Being my son was under 21, law enforcement had a responsibility to enter his information within 2 hours, and they failed to do that. My son will fight for me, and I'm here to fight for him. I want justice. We are in the pursuit of justice.
Justice for Daniel Irving. Justice for Daniel Irving. Daniel Irving. And the final family you will hear from is going to be the family of Tyler Smith, who many of you haven't heard of at all. And I want to have his family who drove from Lexington, Kentucky to the National Urban League Convention to say that Tyler Smith, life matters too. Y'all, please give him a round of applause. Tyler Smith, life matters. Tyler Smith, life matters. Tyler Smith, life matters.
today, supporting all these families. I was asked many times, who is Tyler? What does Tyler mean to you? And I had to take a deep dive into that because to give a few words wouldn't be justice. So I went into my prayer closet, as most nanas do. Because see, Tyler calls me Nana. And when people ask me to tell them, I find a struggle in finding words big enough to describe who he is. Tyler is charismatic. He's warmth. Tyler is love. Tyler is compassion and tolerance. Tyler is focus and determination. Tyler is an entrepreneur with dreams, goals, and a vision for his future. Tyler is a calming presence, a peacemaker, and a source of comfort to those around him. Tyler is that warm piece of cake straight out of the oven, that soft buttermilk biscuit that the butter glides across the top. Tyler is the depth of a baby's laughter and the warmth of a grandmother's hug. Tyler is what many people spend a lifetime searching for, but never fully find a genuine soul with a kind heart and a beautiful spirit. For me, Tyler is much more than all of those things. He's my motivation, my determination, the wind beneath my wings. Even in his absence, he continues to give me strength. He has become a part of the reason I stand, the part of the reason that I keep moving forward. When I received that call at 6 a.m. that morning that my grandson had been involved in a shooting, I thought, okay, hand, foot. And I arrived upon the scene of the hospital and found out that this was a gunshot wound to the head. Again, I'm a praying mother. I have a son who a year ago had a near fatal car accident. I know what God can do. You can't tell me what God can do. I've seen it. I watch it every day. I watch him learn how to walk and talk. And I comforted his grandfather and said, don't worry about this. We've already been through this fire. It'll be okay. When the physician came out and pronounced my grandson, and she stated, self-inflicted, accidental, I told her, you're a lie, and there is no truth in it. I explained to her immediately. I said, how do you have this evidence for you to know this? She said, because they said. I said, they said? She said, yes. As days progressed, my family and I began to move forward. We got none effort, energy at all from the Lexington Fayette County Police Department. We were told that we needed to accept accidental, self-inflicted. They offered no traces of gun residue, even though I called the coroner's office and the police department. And I begged and pleaded, please, bag his hands. No child, and I say child because it's relative, no one was searched on the scene. They took an investigation as a total from all 5 of these young people and said, they said this is what happened. I asked for gun residue on anyone. The answer that I was given, well, there's no need to bag his hands. Everyone in this room would have gun residue on them. That was their excuse to me. When they moved my grandson in an expedient manner, not to our local coroner's office, but to the state capitol, which I was told wouldn't happen until that following Monday. Miraculously, in 2 hours, he was on his way to the medical examiner in the capitol. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., they came back and told me again, accidental, self-inflicted. For 17 days, my sons and I worked tirelessly, investigating everything on our own. The police department gave us nothing, absolutely nothing. They treated me as if I were a pirate.
asking all the wrong questions. Why do you need to know? We've handed you that carrot already. Take a bite. Settle down. It's accidental, self-inflicted. As I talked to the police chief, I explained to him. He said, well, what do you want from this? What are you looking for? I said, what would you be looking for?
Exactly.
I want transparency. I want you to simply do the job that you were paid to do. My family never asked you for a bird either. We just asked you to earn the paycheck that you either receive this week or the next. We ask you to simply, the same way you go into our black and brown neighborhoods and you can investigate and you can interrogate and you can charge, give us the same respect. Tyler is loved. He's loved. But most importantly, Tyler calls her mama. Tyler calls me Pepper. That's my baby, Pepper. He's my baby. It will be my dying breath to say his name. No stone will go unturned. I'm not afraid to go to hell and sit with the devil about my work. I want to know. I want transparency. I want someone to speak on it. Continue to say our names. Continue to say our children's names. We deserve answers. We deserve justice. We deserve transparency. That's all we're asking for. And I thank you all so much for the time and the space that you have given every one of us.
Justice for Tyler Smith. Justice for Tyler Smith. Justice for Tyler Smith. And we're going to get to the truth on Tyler. I promise you, we're going to get to the truth of what happened to Tyler Smith. At this time, President Mario, we're going to ask that the Congresswoman just say a brief word and take questions. Yes, Evans, CBC, thank you all very much.
Let me simply say the two most powerful words we can say. To you as families, to the Urban League family, to you, President and CEO, and my good friend, to you, Attorney Ben Crump. Thank you. But let me just say, the Congressional Black Caucus, we aren't just coming today. We communicated with Attorney Crump, with President Mark Muriel, and we stand with you. And I'll end with your words, Mark. We're going to let justice roll down like a stream and righteousness like mighty waters. We are the Congressional Black Caucus. We stand for you, for justice, transparency, and righteousness. Thank you and God bless you.
This has been moving and powerful. We want to take questions from members of the media. Members of the media, if anyone in the working media has a question for Attorney Crump, and please identify yourself, speak real loudly. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And that's an excellent question because thank God for us being able to get the national attention on Nolan Wells' case. And that doesn't happen just by coincidence. It's a lot of the civil rights community, a lot of the activists, Reverend Al, people like Byron Allen, Tyler Perry, everybody on social media coming to say, no, this ain't adding up. We got to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And then we get contacted by our good friend, Attorney Sean DeRea, saying that, hey, we got a similar case, Attorney Crump, where you co-counsel with us, and Attorney Brooklyn start working with them. And then we get a call to the call center, President Mariel, and I simply can't believe what happened to Tyler Smith. It shocks my conscience. And so Kareem Ali and Cliff Jones, my investigators, they start to investigate. And we're saying, this can't be true. They really didn't do a gunshot residue test on the hands. That's basic. And so it hits me that all of them are 18-year-old black kids that died in very questionable circumstances when Nolan was the only black kid on the boat. Daniel was the only black kid allegedly on the fishing trip. And Tyler was the only black kid at the 4th of July celebration party, house party. And all of them are 18 years old. Look at the dates. I mean, that's eerie when you look at the dates. February 8th, Tyler Smith is born. July 4th, 2026, he is dead. Can I see the other? Oh, this is Daniel Irvin. I mean, he's born November 21st, 2007. He is dead on April 17th, 2026. Where's that? Nolan Wells, born August 19th, 2007. He is dead in July of 2026. The day is yet to be determined. All of these young black kids were born in 2007, and all three of these black kids died 2026, 18 years of age, on the cusp of manhood. And I said, no, we got to show that this is not a coincidence that all these young 18-year-old black men are ending up dead and nobody's being held accountable. No, we got to bring the law. We got to bring the law. We must bring the law for these 18-year-old black men.
Let me also add this. Our members who were planning to come to Nashville asked me late last week if we would be commenting on, dealing with, shedding any light on the Nolan Wells case. I invited Ben Crump to come to Nashville to brief us on the Wells case. In the course of that conversation, he shared with me, by the way, there are 2 other similar cases. I said, 2 other similar cases? I said, Ben, can you bring all of the families to Nashville? Because the thousands of urban leaders who are here are interested in, have a solidarity with, want to hear directly, not through filters, about the circumstances of these cases. And that is what the National Urban League Conference is all about. It is about dealing with the pressing, cutting-edge issues that face the nation and face Black America. So we are here because this is what we do.
Yes.
Whether it's Trayvon Martin back in the early teens, Michael Brown, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, we deal with these issues because our constituency wants to hear directly. And I want to say this, we trust Ben Crump. And we know that he does not engage in chasing false cases. That he also, when he takes a case, that he's going to elevate the word and the personality and the pain of the families. All too often, when Black families are victims of violence and victims of unfair justice system, they suffer in silence. They can't find lawyers with the courage and the ability. They suffer in silence. So I know when Ben Crump has a matter, he is always welcome at the National Urban League Conference to come and bring us up to date. And that's why we're here in Nashville. Other press questions? Any others? Yes, ma'am. Identify yourself, please. New York Post.
bullshit in the chat.
Yep, we know about the question. We're ready for it. This attack and this threat to sue us and the family for defamation, it's a distraction. We're not distracted by it at all. And it's about getting to the truth. That's what we want. And that's what we're focused on. We haven't done anything other than ask questions to get to the truth. Okay. Another one.
That accusation doesn't deserve a response.
That's right.
There's no dignity
right.
associated with someone standing up for children who have died. We don't waste our time arguing with donkeys. We don't waste our time arguing with people who want to distract from the real issue. We have 3 dead black young men under suspicious circumstances. And I don't think the New York Post ought to give elevation to distractions like that. This is such an old story. We fight for justice and someone suggests all we want is publicity. You know what happens when we stand here? Our inboxes are filled with hate messages, hate mail, hate this, hate that. No one. Our dignity in standing up. And I'm not, you're a reporter, you work for the paper, your editors told you to ask this question. I want you to know we will not be distracted. And I'm not going to, Ben Crump is like any lawyer. He should get paid for his work. Just like every Wall Street lawyer, every Trump lawyer, every insurance defense lawyer.
This wasn't the time to say that. Who the fuck is this guy?
To understand, let's not be distracted. Let's not give oxygen. Let's not give air to haters and distractors and dissuaders. So thank you for your question.
I mean, they asked the question, though, but it was like, shit, why that?
I'm going to say this.
They asked him, though.
I will not ever surrender the fact that I am an American. However, we celebrate Juneteenth. I don't necessarily celebrate July 4th, but I note it as an important day. And I'm not going to fall into the trap that some want to. I fly the American flag in front of my house. But on the other side of my porch, I fly the Juneteenth flag. And we are not going to let anyone diminish our birthright, our constitutional right, our birthright to be treated fairly and justly in this country. It is very difficult and challenging in these times, but we are not going to be tricked. We're not going to be dissuaded. We're not going to be distracted. I am an American. I am an African American. I am a Black American. And I'm proud to be one. But I think we need to clearly understand that African Americans, Black people, and civil rights leaders have always been the conscience of this country. Amen. Have always been loyal to the nation, even in the most challenging times. And I'm not going to suggest it's easy for us. But what we're not going to allow is for people to marginalize us, treat us like second-class citizens, or suggest that somehow, let me tell you what a true patriot is. A true patriot stands up for justice. A true patriot stands up for the families and the victims of violence. A true patriot holds the justice system accountable, doesn't make excuses for an unjust justice system. So we gotta understand that we're not gonna get tricked and cornered into people suggesting because we stand up for justice, we're something other than a true and full patriot in this country. That's the way I feel. I said last night, I was born in a segregated hospital, born in a segregated city, watched my parents and their friends fight and litigate and march to open doors of opportunity. The reason why these times are so tough and why they're so difficult is because if we are not careful and if we are not vigilant and diligent, our children and grandchildren will be relitigating the battles of our parents. This movement in this country to turn back the hands of time is palpable. So when we stand up for these families, and we'll stand up for other families, and we'll stand up for other people, we're doing it because we are true patriots. We're doing it because we believe in justice. We do it because we're going to hold the justice system accountable. This Urban League movement has a mission. And its mission is something we will not surrender. Like the Congressional Black Caucus says, we have no permanent friends, we have no permanent enemies, we only have permanent interests. So thank you for your question.
And let me say this before I move on to the final two questions. You know, we as African Americans, as W.B. Du Bois said, we have this duality. I mean, on one hand, we know that when the founders wrote the Constitution, they never expected that the rights would apply to us. But like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall said, I know they didn't intend it to apply to us, but we're going to make it apply to us anyway because we are American citizens. And if anybody built this country, it was our ancestors with the toiling in the cotton fields. I mean, doing the things that made this very young country become such a prosperous country at such an early age in its infancy. I mean, when you think about what slavery did to elevate America, that were our ancestors. So, yes, I'm going to celebrate the 4th of July essence every year because my ancestors built this joint. And then I'm really going to celebrate on the Juneteenth because I know that is what we do to acknowledge our ancestors. Just like Jewish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Italian Americans celebrate the 4th of July in their important dates, just like Spanish Americans celebrate the 4th of July in important dates to them. Black people, we celebrate the 4th of July because we built America. CNN, and I want the TV, and then that's going to be it. Go ahead. I'll Sean speak briefly to Daniel Irvin, but that's why I was brought in to bring attention to the Daniel Irvin case. Sean and the team and your mother been fighting and not making progress, but we're going to get answers. Sean.
We have not had any progress with the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. We are planning, Mr. Crump and I, to meet with the district attorney if he will meet us, and we want to talk about this case, we're going to talk about this evidence, and we want to move this forward, and we want murder charges. Is that right, Mr. Crump?
You know, one of the things that Sean and Tamika said, Ryan, she said that there was a witness after the drowning that said, Tamika, the young man was limping when he came back. And that was part of the investigation. And she's saying, well, why didn't y'all explore that? Like, why are you limping? You're saying my son jumped off the bridge. Well, that's going to cause you to limp.
Yes, that is true, and there was a witness that provided video footage via flash drive to the detectives, and they failed to enter that information in the probable cause affidavit. The witness also said that the detectives just grossly overlooked that, and they failed to enter that information. Again, I know Daniel did not drown, and tampering with evidence is offensive for the murder they committed.
I would just respond to this here on Ryan's case. And his mother believes her child was murdered. We are still trying to get all the information, Attorney DeRay and I, but she does not believe her son unforced went into a lake, a high school swimmer, and drowned. She just isn't accepting that, and she has a right as a parent to question that. As it relates to Tyler Smith, we're going to have more information coming forward because of the hard work of his mother and grandmother, and we think the shoe is about to drop on that. And we're going to meet with the district attorney. We haven't yet, but we're going to meet with them because people are starting to come forward. And I again thank the parents of Nolan Wells because people are coming forward in their case. That's inspiring people to come forward in Tyler Smith's case as well. So thank you all for coming forward. She had the last one. Okay.
My message would be that we have to have tough conversations. This is something our community already knows. We have to make sure that, and I know my husband and I, we have had countless conversations with all of our children about the importance of understanding when you are moving in different spaces with people that do not look like you. And it's unfortunate that we have to have these conversations, but they are needed in order to hopefully keep our children safe. So I would say to all the mothers out there, especially my Black mothers, we just have to keep pushing forward. We have to do the things to protect our children.
This is so tragic, but this is why Ben Crump is so important. This is why when families face these types of challenges, they need good counsel.
That's right.
They should not wallow and try to handle it themselves. They shouldn't just go to community leaders and politicians, although that's important. They need good counsel. They need good civil rights counsel. They need people like Ben Crump or Lee Merritt, and there are many, many others around the nation who do this kind of important work. And I just encourage families that face cases of injustice, cases where they want answers, to work to get good counsel. We at the Urban League, our affiliates, we get calls all the time. And what we try to do is guide them in the right direction. We try to help them identify counsel or people, and that is really, really important, the case. I want to confront the question you asked about race. Something in this country, whenever a black person is the victim of an act of injustice, why is it when we seek justice, we get this smear campaign? That's right. Of playing race card. I have seen this movie for many, many, many years, and we are going to call it out because we are not going to be persuaded.
What the fuck? Bro, stop clapping so fucking loud. What the fuck is wrong with him? Stop that fucking clapping.
Let the charges come. I say it's like they're blowing bubbles. It's just a lot of rhetoric, it's nasty, and it's hateful. But you know what I found? For every loud person attacking us, there's 15 quiet people. Yes. Who represent silent supporters of justice. They may not speak out, they may not go on social media, but they're in solidarity, and we have to remember that. The loudest voices in the room.
Make him wear mittens when it's time to applaud.
Let me thank you all for coming. We've got some other activities. I wouldn't have power motion. Let's thank them from. Let's one more time thank these families for their courage, I want to thank the media for coming out as well. This press conference is adjourned.
Thank you, Mark Moriel and the National Urban League.
Haulers initiative. Any American who has driven a heavy truck for our military will.
That damn clap annoyed me. That damn clap. Oh my fucking. Oh my gosh, bro. It's why did he do that? Oh man. This is what we gonna do, y'all. We gonna call it one. I'm gonna shout out the top 10. I'm gonna show some love. And I'm gonna go. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Press a button, wake the game up. Man. One of those days. No Monica. Even though this isn't about any money, y'all haven't heard us mention money one time. We just ask that you like the content. I do appreciate everybody who donated to keep the tent rent paid, keep the generator running so the lights stay on, and we can keep this content rolling. First and foremost, They call it fan funding. I just see it as another form of support. This that super support. We got XO Mills with the $4.99 super chat. Super step says thank you for watching. Please be sure to like. We got Big Rob from the group home with the $1.99 super chat. Super step says Kid Chaos. I said, yo, this man is convinced that I am the battle rapper Kid Chaos. He is convinced thoroughly. There's no doubt in his mind that I am the battle rapper Kid Chaos. And book me for a battle. Shit, I'm not him, but I'll take the deposit and I'll show up and I'll perform. It's gonna be bad. I'm gonna lose the battle. And then give me the rest of my money and I go back to being the guy in the mask. And once again, shout out to XO Mills with the super chat, super step for $19.99. She says, where are my liking ass people at? We need y'all to handle that. You know what I'm saying? Tap that screen, hit that like, and hit that like. Then we got XO Mel sent a GG Jules, GG for 10 Jules. Marvelous Hendrix sent 100 for 2 Jules, and Mel sent a coin for 10 Jules. Let's go, super duper salute to y'all, and thank y'all for y'all donations. Much appreciation, much obliged. Now let's show some love to the chat, the most aggravating chat in the game, the most appreciated chat in the world. What we have done. Hold on. First, then we got the top 10. Top 10, number 1, 1, 1, 1. We got number 1, we got XO Mills. Number 2, we got Jeffrey Epps. Number 3, we got Nurse Lady T. Number 4, we got Anonymous 1. Number 5, we got Mike from the Ville. Number 6, we got Mary Anner. Number 7, we got Slim Jones McEasy. Number 8, we got Javon Williams. Number 9, we got Professor 8. And number 10, we got Big Rob from the group home. That's crazy. That was Professor 8. Oh, number 11, honorable mention, we got Shada Sage, the homie. Let's go. Now, we're going to show some love to the chat. Y'all aggravating. We done broke the glass. And we done shook the building. Because we done passed the 50 like threshold.
So, aggravating as hell, man.
We done passed the 100 like threshold. And today, we have also made it past the 200 like threshold. Let's go, super duper salute to y'all. Yeah, so 200 likes strong. How we get 200 likes? How do we get a whole 200 likes? Let's go. Shout out to y'all, the most aggravating chat in the game. Most aggravating chat in the game. Most appreciated chat in the world. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to the mod squad. The mods always putting on. Show some love to the mods. Green hearts in the chat for the mods. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. We ain't even finna make this long. We finna get up out of here. Any bullshit, block them. I'm looking right past it. We out of here. Now shout out to the chat. Super duper salute. Christy, I see you. Anom, I see you. Mike from the Ville, I see you. Nurse Lady T, I see you. She says, I almost deleted myself. Anom says, oh, facts. The best host on the YouTube sphere. That's what it looked like. Facts. Mike from the Ville, I see you. Christy, I see you. Nadira Shakir. I see you. Javon Williams, what up? Hey, no, what up? XO Mel's, what up? Gregory Jones, what up? Jawande Simpson, what up? Oh, man. I see you. Shout out to Hendrick. Shout out to Wesley. Shout out to Millwood. That sounds like Mills. Shout out to Janice 01. Salute. Wolfpack. Did I say Javon Williams? Did I say Hendricks? Did I say Young Prophet? Mike Swanson. Oh, that's somebody that got erased. Oh, I shouted him out anyway. Jawande Simpson. Evil Mad Sody. Nurse Lady T. Anonymous One. LWJW. Marvelous Hendricks. XO Mills. That's as far up as it will let me go. Get Money Cartel says arrests need to be made unless it's going down in Mississippi. Mike from the Ville said there's a person to snitch on this case. I believe that. Adam says after the live, everybody be safe and stay blessed and live life to the fullest and enjoy as best as you can. Jawande Simpson says, Nolan Spirit gonna drive their conscience crazy. Come clean into the truth. His fear is going to drive you crazy every day and every night. Super duper salute. 230 likes strong. I appreciate y'all, man. We're gonna go ahead and call it one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like my bro said, I reserve the right to be wrong. That's only room for human error. I never set you out on purpose. Like I say, I identify as a multimillionaire. They got a bathroom. They got to give us a cash register. Other than that, this is RUMORNATI Network. We out of here. Let's go.